everybody. Welcome back to the Gamerpreneur podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Bradford Carlton. Today, we're talking about how it looks. Specifically, if you're watching the video version of this, you'll notice my hair is a little longer than I normally keep it. And so I've actually been on something like 20 Zoom calls over the past 4 days, and starting first thing in the morning, going all the way well into the evening. Haven't had a time to really to get my hair cut. And so I've done all these Zoom calls without my camera on. But because I'm doing the Gamerpreneur, I have my camera on. I'm here for you all. And you get to see my shaggy hair, which most of you are like, that's not very long. But I normally shave this down, right? And it doesn't look that good. All of it, my hair does not look good as it starts to get long. The edges around my ears start to get covered in the ear. It's all kinds of bad. And it got me thinking, because I was sitting here what do I talk about today on my episode? And I was thinking about a phrase that I've used over and over again as kind of a rallying cry to get everybody who watches the show to go out and actually start. All right. It's done, not pretty, right? It's important to get the thing that you're working on done. If you don't have something that's done, you can't sell it. You can't put it out into the market, can't determine whether the market likes it or not. And if the market, doesn't like it, then you shouldn't have done it. But if they do like it, you can make some money. And so too many people get hung up on perfect. My daughter, right? 4 years old. She's at the stage now where if it's not perfect, if she doesn't do the thing that she's trying to do absolutely perfectly in the way that she imagined it, it's a complete failure. There's tears, it's pouting, it's no good. And I think a lot of people got stuck on that. I think a lot of people are no different than they were when they were 4 and something goes wrong or it's not quite exactly how they wanted to, and they freak out and it's just, I can't deal with this, and they get anxiety and they call it depression and whatever else. And so that's why I came up with done, not pretty, right? You have just get it done. And once you put it out there, it doesn't matter if it's perfect or not. Because one, you're not going to know if it's perfect until it's been tested. But you can think it's great all you want, but then if you put it in front of people and they don't like it at all, well, that's your problem, not theirs, right? So it helps you to make things not perfect by putting it out there. That way you can turn it into something perfect based on the criticism you get. Now, once you put it out there, all right, once it's done, immediately thereafter, it's time to focus on the pretty side. All right. How it looks is crazy important. One of the main reasons, and I've been saying this for a long time, one of the main reasons my show isn't doing better than it is, my content's not getting more views, more engagement, more whatever, more comments, right? Across all the different platforms. The reason why my brand is not doing as great as it could be is because it doesn't look that great. And I mean, it's a matter of time. I don't put a lot of time into this. I'm not fully admit it. I don't put a lot of time into it. It's not my full-time thing. A lot of the content I made like a template in Photoshop, and then I just added a bunch of quotes, and I made 100 of those, and I uploaded them to schedule into the future. And so a lot of this stuff was made, last year. And I make some memes, but I haven't been making them as often as I should. But if you check out my stuff, you'll be like, it's all right. It's good. Yeah, but no one out there is going to be like, this is the most pretty and most greatest looking thing you've ever seen. Okay. And that is holding my brand back. That is holding your brand back. If you can say and look at your stuff with an objective eye, or maybe have a friend or another streamer or another content creator or another designer or somebody else in the same field as you, they're going to take a look at your stuff, have them with an objective eye, don't sugarcoat it, hit me as hard as you can, kind of thing. They're going to tell you what's wrong with it. And one, that's their opinion, man, right? It's not the only opinion. Keep that in mind. But two, that opinion is something that's not living in your head, right? You are engrossed in your brand. You know what's up with your brand. And here comes somebody telling you what they think. It behooves you to throw yourself on their side and kind of look at it from their perspective and go, I can see it. The graphics don't quite work. The intro doesn't work. The music isn't quite right. Maybe I can improve that. And I had somebody, a guest on my show ages ago, who told me, I think his name was Avalanche Jared. Now I think about it, Avalanche Jared. Okay. He had 50,000 subscribers on YouTube back when I had 100 followers. Okay. I was a nobody and he was willing to come on my show. Absolutely grateful for Avalanche. And he came on and he said, the thing you got to do is you got to engage with your audience when they engage with your content. over and over again, over again. But more importantly than that, every single time you make a piece of content, try to make the next piece a little bit better, just a little bit better in some way. And I've had multiple different content creators on and give that same advice. Make it a little bit better the next time, a little bit better the next time. And as you do that, eventually you're going to kind of find that certain things get a better response than other things. So I had a different background before. So I currently have a green screen behind me. So if I like move here, you can like see you can see the green. Maybe you can see the green. There's something there. But before I had the green screen, my camera was actually flipped around. The computer was against that wall. And you saw what I see now, which is my Super Mario Brothers poster, my Kung Fu poster, Legend of Zelda, some sound foam back there. That was my old background. And maybe you remember that background. That was an improvement from the background I had originally. And this is an improvement from that background. So I have been attempting to increase the visual acuity, the visual quality, making it look better on my show since I started it, because I understood this principle. How it looks is possibly the most important thing to determine whether or not people are going to consume it or purchase it from you, okay? And I can give you the exact reason why. I'm going to tell you exactly how you know this is true. You don't have to believe me. You know this is true. When you go to the supermarket, to the grocery store, and if you had a package of something that you were looking to purchase sitting there on a shelf, and it's wrapped in, butcher paper, and it's got like duct tape on it, and it's just this ugly little bag of like the thing you want. And next to that is this beautifully, pristinely packaged with a beautiful picture on it and all the information on it. You got these two things. One looks like it was dropped off by a homeless person, and the other looks like it was made by someone who cares about quality. Which of the two are you going to purchase? And assume they're the same price, just for sake of argument. You're probably going to go with the thing that looks like somebody took some time to care for it, right? Right? Okay. Same with you. In your brand and your content and anybody else's brand and content that you see out there, including mine, the better you make it look. And I don't mean just like one piece. I mean like in toto, every part of it, your social media, the engagement, how you're putting yourself out there, the visual method or the video quality of the videos you're putting out there. So not just like I'm sitting here in front of my camera, right? But if I had like cuts and B-roll footage and I was like talking to people and like we had sound effects and like that's raising the dial on the sexiness of this content. And that's what I'm talking about. How can you raise that sexy dial for what you're doing? Because, depending on what you're doing, you may be thinking, oh, there's not much I can do. Like if you're a streamer, you're like, well, I sit there and play the video game and there's not much I can do. That's so not true. Do you guys have any clue what you can pull off with OBS? Like you push one button and like, it'll like run this script of different things that happen. And then like you come back, right? Or if you're a content creator on YouTube, like you can make your content look better. It doesn't have to just be you playing the game. You can like cut it and do montages and whatnot. But even when if you're like a game developer, too many game developers have no conception of the marketing of their game before it comes out. They think, I'll make the game and then I'll sell it. That's not how it works. You need to be selling it before you're done making it. That way, when it's time to sell it, you've already sold something like that, right? And so you need to be putting content out there. You need to make it look like something that people want. If you're putting out like junk and like this doesn't look very good, but hopefully people like it, that's probably not the right kind of stuff to put out. You want stuff that's just dead sexy coming out. Don't let them know that it's a pile of spaghetti behind the scenes, spaghetti code, right? Let them see the trailer that you paid a couple $1,000s to have a trailer come out. And then, a couple months later, another trailer come out and then another trailer. Don't let them see the junk. All right. Sell the sizzle, not the steak. That's, how it looks is so important that it will alter your business if you just alter how good what you're doing looks, right? That alone, that one little thing. If you put makeup on, that might be the thing that does it. Guys, girls, non-binaries, doesn't matter. If you put makeup on, you look a little bit better. You wear nicer clothes, you look a bit better. Cut your hair properly like I should have, you look better. If you have that visual, if you look like the part, people will resonate with that part. But if you don't look like the part you want, you're looking like a part that you don't want, and you're resonating with that. And that's what people see when they see you currently, if you are not doing what you're hoping to do, right? Find some way to get there. If you got to go to like a thrift store and spend $5 for a suit or a dress or whatever in order to make yourself look really good, go do it. Who cares? Right? You don't necessarily have to wear that thing over and over again. You wear it once or twice, right? It's, wash it first, whatever. Just focus on one, getting it done. Once it's done, move on to doing everything in your power to make it pretty. Okay. All of the bugs, all of the things that the customers don't like, obviously you should be fixing them. That's part of the getting it done part, right? But once you're getting that stuff done, start dialing up the visual acuity. That will transform your business. That'll transform your life. That'll transform your sales. There's like a magic line that you have to cross where you're like, I keep adding, I'm making it look pretty, Brad. I'm making it look pretty, but nothing has changed so far. Nothing has changed. And then one day you're going to change like just enough. You cross this invisible line and all of a sudden you're going to get some traction. You're going to get seen by people who you weren't expecting to be seen by. They're going to share. And before you know it, you've gone viral and you grew like 10,000 followers on Twitter, like overnight. And like you're freaking out and it's all wonderful. And for some reason, you don't know what it was. Well, it was this. You changed something that it finally caught somebody's eye in such a way that they were willing to take a look at it. And that is so important. If you have two books, the same exact book, okay? Same exact book. Every single word inside of this book is exactly the same. But if you change the cover, one book will sell better than the other. And that's just the way the world works. People buy the book by the cover. You say don't judge a book by a cover, but they buy it based on the cover. You can't judge that book based on having read it until you've read it, right? When you're in the bookstore, you're not supposed to read it. It's not a library. So you buy it and then you read it. But you bought it most likely based on the cover. How many times have you picked a movie based on the cover and the title? You maybe look at the description, but really the cover and the title, you're like, this one looks interesting. Okay, that sounds, and then you go and watch it. That is what people are doing. So make sure your thumbnails look good. Make sure your content looks good. Make sure you have great transitions and you got hooks and you're meant to be catching people. All right. Go look it up. The stuff is not complex. All right. But I'm going to remind you all, organization is the enemy of sloth. Spend some time at this. There's no real rush. Okay. If you spend 5 days figuring out how to transform the rest of your life, it's time well spent than just rushing today and being wrong for 5 years, right? Spend 5 days, do the thinking now, and then implement. Don't figure out how to implement later after you think you can catch a breath. You're never going to be able to catch a breath if you do this right. Spend the time now. Go a little bit slower. Think these things through. How can you improve the visual acuity? What kind of materials can you put out? What kind of graphics? What kind of content? If you're just tweeting, just tweet. Okay, well, that's it. I mean, come on, add something. Make people feel something. That's what this is all about. You got to make them feel it. If they don't feel it, they don't want it. And that is life. So I'm going to remind you, don't be just a gamer. Be a gamerpreneur.